Quotes of Why I Don't Call Myself Gay, How I Reclaimed My Sexual Reality and Found Peace by Daniel C. Mattson. In his work Abuse of Language, Abuse of Power, Josef Pieper writes, public discourse itself, separated from the standard of truth, creates on its part, the more it prevails, an atmosphere of epidemic proneness and vulnerability to the reign of the tyrant. Serving the tyranny, the corruption and abuse of language becomes better known as propaganda. And the greatest victims of this abuse of language and the fictitious realities they promote are our children. So-called experts use language that confuses children when they are most impressionable. They speak authoritatively about new realities, as if they were obvious and non-controversial. The children unfortunately accept these theories without question. Reclaiming the dignity of the words are the most important thing we have. A few words, one word, can change history. Imagine that the correct words had been chosen by those people who are in charge of our lives. A few well-thought-out words and things might have been different. Unfortunately, they have chosen all the wrong words. Mr. Shikagawa, in The Pearl Diver. Words can be sadly mistreated and misused, but they could not be false unless they could also be true. Language may become a suspicious instrument on the tongues of fools and charlatans, but language as such retains its power to signify and communicate the truth. Thomas Merton, The assent of truth words are grown so false. I am loath to prove reason with them. William Shakespeare, Twelfth Night. Pope Francis said that he was paraphrasing by heart the Catechism of the Catholic Church, where it says that these people should be treated with delicacy and not be marginalized. I am glad that we are talking about homosexual people, because before all else comes the individual person, in his wholeness and dignity. And people should not feed only by their sexual tendencies. Let us not forget that God loves all his creatures, and we are destined to receive his infinite love. C.S. Lewis writes of masturbation in one of his letters, saying, "For me the real evil of masturbation would be that it takes an appetite which in lawful use leads the individual out of himself to complete his own personality and that of another, and turns it back, sends the man back into the prison of himself, there to keep a harem of imaginary brides. In the end, they become merely the medium through which he increasingly adores himself. After all, almost the main work of life is to come out of ourselves, out of the little dark prison we are all born in. Masturbation is to be avoided as all things are to be avoided which retard this process. The danger is that of coming to love the prison. It's easy to see this with food. Eat too much, you're going to get unhealthy. There is a purpose and design in the human body for food and digestion. All of us recognize the need for balance and moderation in food in order for us to remain healthy. The Church views everything this way. Man has an inherent design, and the rightly ordered man will live in accordance with the reality of what is revealed to him by the very design of his body. He will rule his passions by his reason. A love that is not conditioned on reciprocity or recognition. A love that is unselfish, uncraving, ever outgoing and ever ongoing. A love that consists in loving rather than being loved, and that is based on what the loved one is in himself, not on what he is to the one who loves. Cannot be brought to an end by any act, or by any lack, of another than the one whose best personality it represents and exhibits, nor by him while he is still himself. A true friendship is changeless in all changes. Henry Clay Trumbull. If you think of this world as a place intended simply for our happiness, you find it quite intolerable. Think of it as a place of training and correction, and it's not so bad.